Space-time is really strange and haunted and bewitched and spooky. You fall asleep, you have dreams. You don't know where they came from. You don't know where that whole space-time comes from. Then you wake back up and it's just gone. The whole world is like this. Space-time is created by the unknown. The unknown is the mind. You want to know, you want to figure out how things work. You want to explore. So you break things down and you study things and you see how things are organized, how they're put together. You see how a car is built if you want to fix it by looking under the hood, taking things apart, putting them back together. Scientists smash atoms to see what they're made of. This gives them a better understanding, and then they can make new chemicals and new drugs and new fuels, or use fuels in different ways, or build machines that do all kinds of things. Now, the other direction is to see how everything is one, how it's all connected. And that always leads to the unknown, because you get back to the source of everything and you don't know what that source is. Your mind spontaneously creates dreams. You go there, you experience something, you walk around. Then you wake up and it's just gone. So the mind does create environments and space-time. So the outer space, can that really be different? No, of course not. It's different in certain ways. You can't change it quite the same way, but it's not that different. I mean, it isn't different at all. It's got to be the same element. Somehow. You don't know how, though. Because your mind itself is the unknown. Now, Carlos Castaneda went down and studied a Yaqui Indian sorcerer named Juan Matus. Juan Matus told him about his Toltec sorcery knowledge. The knowledge says that there are two basic realms sorcerers are dealing with. The tonal, which is the known, everything you can know, see, talk about, think about. Then there is the nawal, which is the unknown. And it's like a huge, vast ocean in which the tonal is just a tiny little island. They also like it to a table with a few objects on it in the middle of a gigantic, expanse, outdoor expanse. Now, space-time has to be mind, and mind has to be unknown. As you connect things and realize things are one that you didn't think were one before, it gets very strange. Because it basically shows that it's all an illusion, because it always leads back to the unknown. Because if everything is one and everything is connected that way, There can't possibly be any way of knowing it. It's just existence. It's not even a question of knowing it. Do you see what I'm talking about? It's not even a question of knowing it. It is it already. I had a friend who had a spirit guide. The spirit guide's name was Raymond. And Raymond said, I asked Raymond, where does the energy of the universe originate? And Raymond said, in thought. I said, oh, that was a really unexpected response to me at the time. So I said, where does thought originate? And he said, in being. And I said, where does being originate? And he said, in self. And I said, where does self originate? And he said, question mark. That's the unknown. Now, those two types of knowledge, sorcerers, the Yaqui Indian sorcerers I was talking about, go into a state they call seeing, where they see the whole world as energy. They perceive energy directly. And it's this pyrotechnic, exploding, inexplicably strange and different world that they see. And they see like luminous cocoons floating above the ground. Those are people. And they have a bright point of light on them called the assemblage point. And the assemblage point aligns emanations outside the cocoon with one's inside. And that creates perception. And they learn to shift this to change their state and do their sorcery. And they can go into completely different realities and do really bizarre stuff. By shifting the assemblage point. So that is kind of like applied knowledge, because that's like learning to drive a stick shift. They're shifting gears, they're shifting the assemblage point. Okay? They're learning to drive a car, or that type of knowledge, but they're also dealing with the totally unknown. So that's where they get all their power, and that's what their whole sorcery system is based on. So, think about it. Different types of knowledge. Real knowledge always leads to the unknown. Connecting knowledge. Real vision sees the applied known and combines it with an understanding of the totally unknown. The mind is the unknown. And the unknown is that from which springs all space-time. Thank you.